Good afternoon. Welcome to Girl Talk. I'm your host, Miss E, the Power Broker. I'm a Power Broker. Let's say that again. My co-host, Diva, she can't come today. She has to do a little job at work. You know that thing that essential workers that have to work. She's one of those that has to work. But I am joined today. What'd you say? Okay. What I who I am joined today with is my dear friend. He goes by the name of Outrange Thurman Davis. Yes, it's going to be hot. It's going to be well. I can't say unfiltered because uh, our producer is always on it, so we can't go unfiltered. But we do have a lot of stuff to talk about. My allergies are acting up in here, so excuse me. Thurman, welcome to Girl Talk. We doing fine. We doing fine. If you want to call in, the number is 816-599-6893. Please share this. We're gonna wait till some people come in. We're gonna wait till some people come in. But we're gonna go ahead and get started um, with our show today. You know, girl, GYRL, give yourself real love. We talk about issues that affect our community, such as domestic violence and a lack of different things that goes on in here. So today we're going to talk about one of the things that we're first going to talk about is the August 4th election. I don't know if we call it election or hazing
Primary.
or what do we call it. I don't know what we call
Primary.
it, but I know we had an opportunity to change our political status, and either people didn't, or maybe they had some help with the Board of Elections. And I had a lot of complaints against the Board of Elections. So I'm going to start with Thurman Davis. Well, I can't say your last name. Outrage. You were on the polls yesterday.
Yes, I was at Palestine Baptist Church yesterday.
Oh no, not the church.
Yep.
Is that the only church you work? I mean, only poll you work?
Yes, I was basically there half of the day.
Okay, because I got a call that you was at Friendship too. Were you at Friendship?
I was at I was at Palestine, then I went down to Friendship. So basically at both of them.
Both of them, they stay in the same facility.
Yeah.
Is those the two that they had since the COVID-19? The only two wards that were open.
Well, in the ward that I am in 15, you have basically Friendship and the Sheet Metal Union Hall.
Okay, okay. For those that know where the sheet metal hall is, I guess you have to have a job there
It's
to know what it
off
is.
Blue Ridge.
Okay. Oh, that's a little bit for. Okay. I didn't work the polls yesterday. I happened to go by the polls. I noticed it was no social distancing. It was the workers were bombarding people when they came in with literature, and it was so disorganized inside of the polls that people said that you can go anywhere and vote. Did you hear that? That you could vote anywhere?
Yeah, and I'm like, one of the reasons probably was because you got the Board of Elections sat there and sent out a thing the night before because they couldn't get no workers to work the election inside, so they were going to pay the employees. The thing came out talking about, well, since we can't get no employees, how about if we up their thing to $100 more?
Dang, I should have stayed and worked.
Yeah, they were so they got $100 more, but the catch was $50 got deducted if you get caught without the mask on.
Oh, that would have been my $100 right there. You know, because I would have to take my mask off to answer some of them dumb questions that was going on. And sometimes I have to ask myself, was I just a sore loser and started seeing things, or was it in my imagination that they had started having numbers that were outrageous, numbers that usually only come in during a presidential campaign? All of a sudden, we had the third district man voting in numbers, and everybody from that organization that has us on life support, you know, had 1,000 or more votes in, and nobody knew who they were. I mean, maybe it was just a figment of my imagination, but when you vote in a person that's deceased and they have over 800 votes, and people say, well, people were just aware. How aware can you be that your vote is not going to count for somebody that's deceased? So somewhere along the line, it's some questionable things that happened. For as the absentee votes that some people said that wasn't received or wasn't counted, and my biggest complaint is those that are going into the nursing homes and the seniors facilities where people are incapacitated to get their votes. That's illegal. You cannot vote if you're not mentally stable. You cannot vote if you're suffering from dementia. You cannot vote if you have Alzheimer's. You cannot vote if you don't even have a memory of who you are. But yet and still they went and collected these people's votes and took them in instead of mailing them. They hand delivered those in. That is illegal. I
Mhm.
mean, I may be wrong, Thurman, but is that illegal?
Yes, I've been a committee man over 10 years. The same person is the same one everyone talks about being in the senior citizen place. It has become now a joke because you hear the same person's name. I'm like, in the older ladies, they love him when he comes in there. He comes in there, get uh, their ballots and everything. I'm like, you even have elected officials sit out there and try to call him and see how much he's going to charge them to go into the senior citizen place and go get these ballots.
And everybody knows that. It's no secret. But I think now is the time of the recovery. With the COVID and everything, everything's being unveiled. And if we as a community wants to move forward, we cannot allow the same organizations to continue to rape us, give us politicians that only occupy a seat. And everybody seems to be cool with that. And there comes September, they're going to be complaining all over again, but they're going to be complaining to the people that actually work and not the ones that are collecting their tax dollars to be there. So I'm telling people in advance, do not contact me. Do not contact me. I am not going to be doing anything that elected officials should be doing. So right off the bat, contact outrage, but do not contact me. Do not ask me no questions. Make Google your friend. And I'm unapologetic about that. We as a people have to start being more demanding to know more, to do more, and we can't rely on people to do our work for us. You know, and that's what they do. They'll ask me a question that sits right up under the question that they ask. Don't ask me. Google it. Make Google your friend. What do you think, Thurman?
I'm like, as I was sitting there like yesterday, I sat there. I came into the polling place at Friendship. I asked the woman for a paper Democratic ballot. She handed it to me, and as I'm sitting here, she getting the paper that I asked for. I'm sitting here, and she's got candidates that are running literature
No.
sitting right in front of her, and I'm looking at like, please tell me this is not literature I'm looking right at. And one of the candidates that I know good and well is on the top of the literature rack that she's looking right at. She has the literature right where you can see it when you're looking right at her because she's sitting right at the table. So I'm like, I know this is against the law. I know this is number one no.
No. It just, like I said, it just leaves me speechless, and some people think that, maybe I'm kind of outspoken. But when you know that your rights are being violated, you should be outspoken. You know what I'm saying? We have been raped. We have been deceived. We have been hoodwinked. We have received absolutely nothing to come to us from these elected officials. We complain about it. We get on Facebook and everybody's an expert. But when you have time to make that change, we sit back and wait for somebody else to do it. The other day we had an interesting conversation about 18th and Vine. I don't really get into the 18th and Vine situation. I grew up on 16th Street, just a rock away from the 18th Street. When I grew up on 18th Street, I mean, it was just Matlogs, Pinners, you know, the grocery store, and the KUAW, which the KUAW has not done anything to this building since we were kids. No investment's been back in there. But there have been millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars that have went inside the 18th and Vine area. You know, Cleaver's whole family worked at 18th and Vine. His wife, his son. I mean, everybody. Anybody has had some money, had their hands in that money on 18th and Vine. They had an opportunity to make a change, and change it what to the CID. I think they was talking about on the status, and they had such a disagreement between the business owners and the property owners that now they're left in limbo. But the realistic issue is they don't want to do anything on 18th and Vine. Not the people that's elected, but the people that are down there. They say they do, but apparently they don't if they can't agree.
Yeah, they can't agree. I'm like, I have been dealing with people and and owners down on Vine for a while. I can remember when the former councilman was down there, and the issue came up about the uh, about whether the new restaurants wanting the liquor license. They had an argument with the church because the church didn't want no more liquor establishments near down on 18th Vine, and the establishment was going near them. And there's an ordinance that was in play for a certain amount of distance that you have to be from a church or school and everything. And the church had an issue with that, that they didn't want it in there. So the owner sat here and decided, oh, well, I posted something on Facebook, and, she got mad, talking about that I'm against black ownership and all of this and everything. And I'm like, no, it's a law, it's an ordinance. I'm like, people need to follow the ordinance.
Yeah, but Thurman, on the realistic, if 18th and Vine was going to be an entertainment district, it needed to have entertainment. That church probably only had 2 or 3 people realistically in that church. And some of these churches have been our biggest hustles. So, it was a time that you could respect the church and their opinions, but we have elected church officials that get involved in the political scene and bring their friends in for games. So the respect of the churches is not there anymore. And a church that has 2 or 3 members or whatever, and making a decision about entertainment district, because you cannot have an entertainment district when you have nightclubs that want to serve liquor, or you have restaurants that want to serve liquor. A good example is when we went to essential workers and what they deemed was good for us. You could buy alcohol, but you couldn't go get a hamburger. And then they made it where you can go and drive through and get alcohol. You know what I'm saying? So those things make money for them, revenue for them. They don't really care about the outcome. But my concern is 18th and Vine, the money that has poured into there. They asked me, well, Miss E, what's the money? Where is the money? And I said, if I was a business owner or if I was a property owner, you wouldn't have to ask me that question. I would know where the money went. So they play, both sides of the middle on that end right there. Then you have to give people something to want to come down to. And we get the bad press on there. And you would think with the call paper being there that he could write something positive about 18th and Vine, color me beautiful, or something like that. But they're not getting any good press down there.
Yeah, because the question has always come with Vine, what is it category as? Is it entertainment district? Are you a uh, are you a liquor district? What exactly are you? What are you want to be categorized as? Because
Probably just a district making money. Why do we have to put the labels on there to say we this type of district? You want to be a district that makes money, regardless if you're selling alcohol. Because when you go on Brookside, they have as equal as many liquor stores in that vicinity as any other place. They have them on 63rd and Main. They have them right there on 63rd and Oak. They have them right around the corner, or when you go to the grocery store area over there. I mean, they have about 5 liquor stores over there. And then if it's a good day, you could probably go in somebody's basement and get what you want. And they have no issue with that because they have the restaurants. All the restaurants over there serve alcohol. The sports bar, the Red Door, the jalapeno. It's not like I know all the business on West. I mean on Brookside, but Michael, Forbes. All of those restaurants sell alcohol. And then up the street, right next to Jimmy John's, you got the liquor store right there. Then down the street, you have another liquor store. So what's the difference?
there's
You know what I'm saying? What's the difference? But when it comes to black owned, we got so many rules and regulations, that we put upon ourselves. And we get the people that don't even invest in our community. I'm talking about black folks that don't even come down there that want to have a say, on what's going on down there. And they don't even support, and then they come in and they destroy whatever ideal that we think that we should want. I mean, I'm saying I don't go down there either, but um, I'm just saying that we have to make up our mind and say that, but only one of the things I have to say, I have to get this off my chest. When it comes to black people, we must have one book that we go by when we want to open up a business. If one person open a t-shirt shop, everybody come and opens up a t-shirt shop. We want to open up a chicken joint, everybody and their mama opens up a chicken joint. We don't want to do anything that diversifies. It's more than that to just a restaurant selling chicken and clothing. Everybody want to open up a daiquiri shop. Nobody opens up a chess place or somewhere you can play intelligent games. You know what I'm saying? Or have an intelligent conversation going. But we want to fight over nickels and dimes, and we're not getting anything. That's the bottom line. We should have been right up there saying, but they spent $1 million on the sign for 18th of Vine. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they should have put a sign up saying we are stupid.
I'm like it. You had I my first question would be for the ones on Vine. Whatever happened to my $27 million?
That's what I was telling them. Start following the money, then you will find out why the people are not interested no more in helping because they done already made their investments. It's just like I'm gonna bring this up. It's just like when we talk about the new police station, and we talk about that community center over there. That Miles and them have that community center. How many times has that community service been paid for? He had a couple $1 million the first time and nobody talked about it. And the money disappeared. KUAW and them got lots of money for a forum that's supposed to be right there and nobody's talking about it. We have a lot of stuff that goes on and nobody talks about it because it's like the evil taboo. And that's why I said if you're a part of Freedom Inc., then you're part of the service. And I'm going to keep saying that because those officials know what's going on. And they don't care because they're for $35,000. I'm selling my soul to be a state rep, and it was really sad to see that the people that could have got elected, that might have went down there and might have fought for black lives that do matter, was sent back. You know what I'm saying? They didn't get an opportunity because I believe they was cheated out of their race because nobody from Freedom except for Barbara Washington, and she slammed it. uh, was out there promoting or campaigning. That was a silent election. If you didn't even know what's happening, you didn't know who the candidates were. You didn't know what they stood for. There was no debates. You can blame it on COVID or whatever, but they've been zooming everything else. You know what I'm saying? So we got exactly. I didn't get exactly what I voted for, but people got exactly what they voted for. You know, and what they didn't vote for, they took the paper, went in there. I told people take that paper and vote against everybody that's on there. They took the paper and hey, I don't know what happened because most of them voted electronically, which is stupid because you can't recall electronics, but you can recall if you have questions about the paper ballots. And that's why they tell you don't vote paper because they don't want a trail. But dummies, one on one, they go and vote electronically because it's cool. It's convenient. And the conveniency is what's got us here. You know, being convenient is what's got us in this trouble that we're in now because we want to be convenient. Or if you speak up, you're very controversial about it, or you're not a team player, or what team are you playing for is what I want to know, you know, because I'm not playing on nobody's team, you know, except for we the people's team, you know, because we educate to liberate. I need to say that again. We the people educate to liberate. And sooner or later, it's gonna happen because this second wave of close down when it happens, it's gonna be very very serious because the first wave didn't go back to work in the jobs that they were in. The second wave is going to surpass the first wave, so you people better get ready. You know the schools are not going to educate the children. The children are going to for the parents that do send the kids back. I don't know what to say. Some parents maybe are forced to send their children back, but I wouldn't be sending my kids back, and I definitely would not be sending my kid to get vaccinated. You know what you're going to get vaccinated for? What are you getting tested for when you don't even know a cure? They don't even know what you have, but they just know what you do have. You can't get the COVID, so they're going to give you something else. They're going to take your antibodies. You don't know what they're doing. When you take your dog or pet to the veterinarian, they put a chip in them dogs so fast. You know what I'm saying? They said, well, this is if your dog gets lost. Well, if my dog gets lost after I've been feeding him and taking care of him, my dog needs to be lost. You know what I'm saying? I don't want a chip so you can watch me because that dog's not doing nothing. But so who is watching this dog? You watching the owner. You know, just like the Ring doorbells. Everybody said, hey, they giving away free. They giving away free Ring doorbells.
Yeah,
dummy.
the grant that went out for the free Ring cameras for certain neighborhoods or so.
And it's only in the urban core.
Yeah.
Ad hoc.
Ad hoc is doing.
The ad hoc is doing it. Yeah. They're giving it to all the black neighborhood groups. Okay? Who's going to be watching you? I don't want nobody, nothing. I was raised on this. Nothing in life is free. You pay for it one way or another. You exchange something or you're paying for it. I don't want a Ring doorbell. You know, if my neighbor got one, they can see it at my house. That's good enough, right? You know, I don't need one. I'm not taking one that's free. But then they have stipulations on the doorbell. You know, to receive it free.
What stipulations they got? You know?
You got to be willing to be a snitch.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm just kidding. Oh, talking about snitching. The feds are here, right? The feds been here for 2 years. People act like they just showed up overnight. They made an announcement. We sent 100 feds to Kansas City. Everybody got excited. But when have they ever made an announcement that they're coming to kick in your door? They're going to give you a whole month to get ready. People need to wake up. I'm just like, man, how crazy can we be? Okay, they arrested people for illegal tags, expired tags. Did you see that? When they took the girl to jail for expired tags, put her on a 24-hour hold, okay? Won't allow her to see her attorney or talk to anybody. She's in jail for expired tags.
Tragic.
Okay, 75th and Prospect. She's in jail for expired tags, okay? But this is the kicker. The feds were supposed to be here to do what? They were supposed to be here to work on cold cases.
Cold cases, yeah.
If you driving around with a May expired tag, that ain't no cold case.
No.
Okay? People need to wake up. You know, and it's like, hey, We're happy to have them here. You may be, but they're not. Why are they working on expired tags and all the other things if they're working on cold cases? And how many are actually here? And who's paying the budget? You don't hear nobody talking about the budget. Have y'all heard anybody speak about the budget?
No.
Huh?
I
And
have
maybe
not.
I'm the only one.
No, I just heard from the mayor who act like he didn't know that they were coming. And he did know they were coming.
Ain't he the one who sent the letter
the
to him? Is that right?
Mhm.
to all the haters that did not even don't want the FBI because I posted something about the feds coming from the mother of the 4-year legend, and here comes these haters just decided to bombard my Facebook page with why the feds are here and blah blah blah. Like,
But I think what happened, and with the legend, I think what happened with legend, what made so many people upset is he wasn't the first child to get murdered.
That's right.
And when you have a cold case on your child, a 3-year-old child that gets murdered, or 4 or 5-year-old girl that gets murdered, and then you find one incident and you highlight that one, as a mother, that's an insult. So I don't think it's so much that the FBI got involved. If they would have said, hey, we got the FBI coming for all of our murdered children. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That would have made mothers feel better. But you got mothers that can't even get a call back from the detective on their children. And so with all that attention played on Legend, where is the murder at?
I think they was gonna come here anyway. They
were already here.
They just wanted to comfort everybody by naming this thing Legend.
Operation.
Yeah, Operation Legend.
Well, no, it puts a diversity into your community, because now you got people that's really dealing with hurt.
Yeah.
You got people that's really, really, really been damaged, and then you highlight one child, and you haven't heard anything else about the other children.
Right.
And on that same week, we had 3 women to get killed, and nobody's even put their names in the paper.
Tragic.
Yeah,
Nobody's even talking about the woman they found the other day in the middle of the street shot. So we have to start being more cognizant of the things that's going around instead of putting on Facebook all of this B. We need to start reporting what's going on, because things are happening around here and people's not being notified, or if they are, they done got kind of just used to it, to the feeling of what's going on.
I'm like, yeah, you could just find I could just sit here on a Friday, Saturday night and find out what exactly is going on in this city in 20 seconds. I'm like, I can find out where is the crew on is the crew down on in Swope Park.
Well, that's horrible.
I can find out I know 2 weeks ago they were out there with boxing gloves out there fighting. Guys was out there fighting with boxing gloves.
Well, girls was out there fighting with no gloves.
Yeah. Then you had the girls out there fighting, and then here comes the gunshots.
Well, the gunshot is to stop them when they get beat up. You know what I'm saying? Because I like the fact that they put no gloves, learning how to fight. Because that's what they should be doing.
Was this like an event or something?
Huh?
Was it like an event?
No, it's in the middle of
just
James
hanging
A. Reed Road. It ain't no event. They just make their
doing
own
it.
boxing street.
Tragic.
They make their own boxing street until they get tired, and then somebody shoot a gun, and all of them run. But sad things about it is all that wasted weed. Why would a woman, spend all that money on that weed and go get it pulled out? I ain't figured that out yet. I'm looking at all that weed laying up on that ground, and I'm saying, why would you go fight knowing you get ready to get your weed pulled out? And then going to fight and know you can't even fight. That's what's so tragic about it. But, not only talking about the tragedy of those things that's going on, because I'm going to tell you, between outrage, I listen to it because the language that you choose to use, the French that you choose to use, it amazes me, because I would like to get on there sometimes and be able to curse like that. But, of course, I can't do that, not in public. But what I do like is your page. And I love Alonzo Washington's page. People get mad at Alonzo, but you know what? I found out a lot of information through Alonzo. I found out about women that nobody's talking about that's been murdered. I mean, Alonzo will bring it in. You may not like the way that he responds, but I understand why he responds like that because people don't care. You know, people don't care, and people want him to do their dirty work by reporting it and, you know, bringing out the names to it somebody in their family, and then they don't want the names out. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't report my family member, but I could tell on Thurman's family member. But I think between Thurman and Alonzo, and I think it's the other one, KC Streets.
Yeah, KC Streets.
KC Streets, we're getting a lot of information out there. They'll probably shut all of these down because they're getting the information out there.
And what's her name? She has one. Kim Burns.
Yeah,
VIP
VIP
KC. Yeah.
Yeah, VIP KC.
Yeah.
I do like that, and then I do like Roach Ellington's page too. You know, even though I do get in trouble a lot, you know, I say as much as I can without being held responsible for a lot of those things. So now we're going to talk about. We're going to swing around real quick, and we're going to please put that in your pocket. Their Kleenex. You know, we got to watch all of that stuff. You know, people want to know your mask, your Kleenex, and all that. But Frank, you can get up here because you deal with some of this. No, I'm talking about just general.
You crazy, man.
Ooh, you clean, boy. You got a raise, didn't you? Ooh, look at that. Ooh, mercy. You know, GYRL stands for Give Me Yourself Real. Ooh. Oh, those are yours this time. Well, maybe you had on Charles. You said Charles. But you know, we talk about GYRL, and we talk about, you know, stands for Giving Yourself Real Love. For those that don't know, we're working on a major project down on 38th and Chestnut. We renamed it the Girl Village. Okay, for those that don't understand it, GYRL Village, Girl Village. So we're working on a project called the Memorial Rose Garden. We have over 200 roses that have been donated for victims and survivors of domestic violence. The sad part is we have room for 200 more that we've been getting calls for. Okay, so this is the deal. I've been getting calls for, you know, we started our youth program about 2 years ago. What's at the Princess and the Young Kings program. We had like over 50 children enrolled until the COVID started. And this is just on Saturdays, so that's a big enrollment just for Saturdays, right? Yeah. So we had to shut it down because we got kicked out of Vineyard. And I'm going to say that because of political reasons. We're no longer at Vineyard. But we have the children that still are needing a place to go. So we decided to come home and fix up our own stuff over there. So we're working on the Memorial Garden. We just put in an amphitheater stage. Mm-hmm. We don't have the what do you call it, the sound system or anything, but we got the major part. We need chairs and stuff donated. Well, here's the deal. I deal with a lot of children that come from one-parent homes, or maybe their grandparents, or maybe their mom, or maybe somebody's incarcerated, or somebody's just not physically available. So I got a lot of young boys that come through there. They're in need of role models. I don't care when people say role models, they I'm talking about a banker, a doctor, you know, or something like, you know, in that nature. But I'm talking about real men. You know, our heroes when I was coming up was the guys that played dominoes in the park. You know what I'm saying? Real men, real men. So what I'm asking for, and I tagged you, but you didn't respond to me.
I put it back on.
I figured you was busy because I knew that y'all were busy this weekend. But this is the deal. Saturday, I'm asking real men to come out. At 10 a.m., we're going to do an orientation. We're going to take back our community, our village, our girl village, our young boys, and we're going to tag them up, just like they do big brothers and big sisters, right? But the only deal is we're going to get them involved in our community, whether that be arts and crafts, dancing, go to work, talking, real talk, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Guys that are ex-pimps, you know, talk to them, because the old school pimps had a way of dealing with women that made women feel special, you know, not the stuff that you see now. But now a lot of them have changed their ways, you know, and now they're respectable men of the community, you know. I want real community men. I want people to see what our community looks like. I don't want to have men that's alpha kappa, you know what I'm saying? I want real brothers that care. Real brothers that will pull that brother by his neck, his shirt, and say, hey, I'm gonna give it to you straight because see, these streets don't really love you. You know what I'm saying? We have to save our own. Let me show you how to make a living.
Yeah.
Let me show you how to shine some shoes. But let me talk to you. Most of our young men have never been hugged by their father or male. They've never been given that type of love. And the mothers get upset with me because I don't believe a woman can walk a man into manhood.
Yeah.
That boy is going to pull out and learn his way because he's an alpha. If he's an alpha, he's going to diverse from his mother to show his manhood. You know what I'm saying? I watched it with my own child.
Yeah.
I thought I had a grip on him. He's like, hey, woman, no. I'm going to walk into my manhood. And you can't do nothing but get on your knees and pray that boy would be saved and be able to walk into that manhood. So what I want to do is I want to bring the brothers together. And so I've tagged a few brothers, but I want people that I couldn't tag, I want y'all to bring them. So Friday I'm having a planning committee. And that planning committee is sitting down describing what the program should look like. Saturday is the orientation where we roll it out. This is what the program is. So mothers have any sons, you need to bring them. Because don't wait until your son gets detached from you or gets in trouble and then try to give him some guidance, because it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Or get murdered, because I've got a mother that hit me up a couple of weeks ago with basically a new hashtag complimenting the outrage. She says, no protests, no outrage.
But
Her son got murdered last year, and she has not received justice yet.
Well, you know what? This is one of the things I have to say about the protesters, okay? Those protesters, last year, there's a lot of people that have never heard anything about their children that's been murdered. But this is one of the things I want to say about the protests. Protest without purpose.
Yeah.
Protest without purpose. When we protest, we had things that we wanted in civil rights. We're still fighting for those same things that we wanted back in the 60s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly the same thing. We want fair housing. We want schools. We want equal opportunities. Daggone that. I believe that sometimes the universe gives you exactly the opportunities that you want to present yourself. The schools aren't teaching our children. We got more philosophers on Facebook. Bring them to the community. Teach our children, the arithmetic, the science, the world history, because world history, we see ourselves. We don't see ourselves in American history, but in world history, we do see ourselves. People that know the Bible, show them where they're at in the Bible. People that know the Quran, show them where they're at. We have to be that example. The people that are marching for Black Lives Matter, hallelujah to you. But ain't none of those people drop no dimes in our community. And none of those people say, hey, I want to help restore, or not restore because we don't have it. None of those people said, I want to bring educational purposes there. I want to bring economic freedom, astute there.
Yeah.
But we're going to march and we're going to have a good time. But when I go home, I'm still in my privilege. You know what I'm saying? I'm still privileged. I'm just down there having a good time, getting sprayed or whatever. Then I'm signing out at 10:30 or 11. But see, when I wake up in the morning, I'm a Black woman. When I go to bed in the evening, I'm a Black woman. If I wake up in between, I'm still Black, and I have to touch myself to see if I change. I'm still a Black woman with Black issues. So that's one of the reasons why I want to bring you brothers to the table, because the boys know what a strong woman is, but they have no idea what a strong male is.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
And sometimes we think we know it all. But I've seen some sisters doing some poor jobs raising these boys. And the reason why I say that, because they're so in the hate mode of males, or the hate mood of who done me wrong, that they tell their sons, this man is no good, this man is no this, and this boy is hearing this.
Yeah.
And then he's conflicted because he wants to please his mama, but she hates men. By her conversation, she hates men. So that's the reason why I want to bring people to the table. I want to bring men to the table. Friday, anybody that's available, the men that's really serious. And I'm not talking about people that just want to come in just to have a good time, because this is not about a good time. This is about living through our survival mode. And it's going to get really serious in September and October. So we have to pull together and say, you know what? This is our village. These are our children. And what do we do? I'm going to say something that was brought to me about the drill teams. People were saying, hey, did you see how these little girls are dancing on the drill team? I said, no. They said, and then I got a chance to witness it last week. those girls are doing grown folks moves. I'm talking about little girls, and you got grown men looking at them. I had somebody very close to me said, "Hey, I can't look at that." He said, because I felt like a pedophile looking at these little girls, while they was grinding on the ground and all that. We talk about young girls. So we as mothers have to do a better job of raising our children, especially our young girls, when we have men that are attached to them in our homes or in our midst. Well, Frank, you want to say something?
Well, I believe honestly that first of all, I'm with that brother, but I mean I didn't have to verbally say it, anything like that, but it's just certain when you're a real man, your attention is on,
Right.
you don't even focus on
Right.
stuff like that. So
You don't have to.
yeah,
because
you don't,
you're a man, but it happens.
yeah. I mean, even though it was right there in front of me, man, my observation was on so many other things, at that particular time. And then, I do know that these are, are children. I do know this is something that they do for fun. And it's sad that kids can't be kids. They can't dance and everything without.
Yeah, but you know what? I remember when I was a kid, not telling my age, but it was a record that came out said "Doing the Dog." Do you remember that? That record "Doing the Dog," and you stimulated being a dog, right?
Yeah.
You raise your leg up and you do the hydrant, right?
Yeah.
I raised my leg, I almost broke it. My mother caught me up there, and I raised my leg, and next thing I know, my mother had my leg up underneath there. But you couldn't do certain dances in front of them.
Yeah.
I learned the four corners, and I had to do the safe version. But when we went out, we did the other version, of it. But we had certain things that we could not do, and that's the way we need to get back to parenting. Certain things you should not be able to do in front of your children. I don't believe that children should be sitting under adults while adults are talking, or adults are what. I don't believe that, and maybe call me old school.
We couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't sit there. My mama, and if she was talking to her friends, you couldn't sit there. And if she gonna tell you, once. As kids, we pretend like we don't hear it. You gonna get smacked in the mouth.
Well, I remember my mama. She didn't even. My mom didn't talk English.
Well, I had a conversation with some other people. We brought up the little girl sitting on me in lap.
Oh yeah, that was a no.
Yeah.
That was a no
Yeah.
because that's a no. I mean that should not happen with fathers holding their daughters because things happen. That's just a no. You shouldn't do that, and they should be trained not to do that.
Absolutely.
But I know my granddaughter came to me, and I be on my granddaughter. I say things, put it in her conscious, so she be conscious of it because she's not thinking because she's a child that has not been touched. When a child has been touched, they're more acceptable to watch things and be more cautious, because by the time a child is 5 years old, it's sad to say, 3 out of 5 young girls have been touched in some type of manner.
Yeah.
Whether they know what it is or whatever, they've been abused in some type of manner. And by the age of 18, it rose up to 4. In our community, I'm talking about in our community, that's the norm is not the norm. By the time a woman is 21, that's 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Regardless of what they say about statistically 3 out of 5. No, that's 5 out of 5 in our community. And then it becomes a well-kept secret. And we walk around with it for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
I'm holding it because of the guilt trip. But this is why that Saturday is so important because we have the youth that's coming here and we have the Princess program. And if anybody wants to get involved with it, you can email me at GYRL, GYRL. I think it's girl youth, one of them, at gmail.com. And, get involved. This program is absolutely free, for the community to come. There is a registration fee, that will be worked out, a minimum, less than anything. But the project opens you to everything that we offer, everything. And we're so delighted and blessed to be a part of the new arts program that's come out with Eddie Griffin and them, and so this gets them kids involved in that arts program, which he's going to take 10 out of 10 categories. That's 100 children that's going to be able to be scholarshiped in to take their dreams beyond. But what it's going to take is going to take the mothers and the fathers to get off their rumps and to bring their children to that facility.
Absolutely.
And not only do we say bring the children, you have to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not just doing arts. We're doing Spanish. We're doing science. We're doing everything that's on the west side east west of Truth over here. You know, dancing, martial arts. I mean, everything. But the main thing is the mentor program, and we know our children learn differently.
Yes.
You know, so we're bringing people in like um, 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 Golden Gates to be able to take them down there to show them this is reality down here. This ain't no joke. You know, this is where we will end up if you don't get yourself straight. But most of our children only want an opportunity to be a child, and we want to help them with that childhood. You know, we want to help them to be able to. They went to bed too and woke up, but their world changed. You know, and people don't understand that. People are hollering at them. They getting on my nerves. No, your child went to bed and woke up, and their whole world was rearranged without an explanation.
Yeah.
You know, they see you scared, now they scared, and so they're acting up. So we're saying we're going to take care of our own. Whether we don't get any federal money, you know, we don't get any of this stuff that people put out there. Everything we've done has been on our own. You know what I'm saying? So people say, well, why are you doing this? Well, we don't have the money, and we're not going to beg nobody for the money. When God releases it, it's going to be released. You know what I'm saying? And we got enough people in our community that can know how to build, that know how to do these things. We had a guy that was taking rocks to the dump, right?
Yeah.
And he was going to pay to take those rocks to the dump.
Mm-hmm.
We asked him, could we have those rocks? He said, you want those rocks? You should see our growth going now. We took what was being thrown away and used it, you know, and we're happy to say we used it. I mean, we don't have the stuff donated to us like you go and take it up there to the place on 31st and Truce. No, what's the name of it?
Breakthrough?
Yeah, Operation Breakthrough.
Mm-hmm.
When they do their commercials, they got everything but the flies flying around those kids' nose.
Yeah.
And they use them. You know what I'm saying? They use them and they don't benefit from those kids that they use don't benefit from that. But, you know, our thing is we don't focus on other people. We try to focus on what we're doing ourselves and how do we better ourselves. How do we become a better person for our family? Not a copycat, but how do we become better?
Yeah.
And I think that, I know that I myself is blessed to have people that I can call truly family, and those are called friends. You know, friends you get rid of, family you have to keep. Like Frank gets mad at me every other month. You have to keep Frank. You know, but I mean, it's nobody in the group that don't get mad with me. But at the end, I be right, don't I? Let people see that. Don't I be right?
She be right, but I didn't get mad with her.
People get mad.
I didn't get mad. It
don't even bother me, because if people don't get mad, I'm not doing my job. You know, I'm serious. I'm not doing my job. But the whole thing is, are y'all with me or are y'all not with me?
Yeah, I'm with you 100%.
Okay, so that means I'm gonna see you Saturday or Friday or Saturday.
Probably Saturday.
Probably Saturday. Yeah, Saturday is from 10 to noon, and that's the
No,
orientation.
probably Friday.
Friday's at 11.
Friday be better. I have to preach a funeral at 1:00 on Saturday, but I only have one funeral.
Okay, but I'm going to break this down real quick. I'm glad you brought this up, because, you know, domestic violence is my life.
Mm-hmm.
I have dedicated my life to women empowerment, to try to make a difference, to try to show that there's life after domestic violence, and just to help the whole ramification of children, mother, family. The young lady that was killed on Van Brunt at the groceries at 7-Eleven. What is her name? What was her name? Diamond. See, we need to say these names when we speak to people, because we don't no longer give them names. We'll just say this individual that was killed. Diamond left how many children?
One.
One.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one child that's going to grow up without a mother. You know, and we don't think of the long-term consequences. You know, when a mother is killed, we say, "Oh, I'm gonna take that child." But when that child turns the ages of 8, 10, and their personalities start changing, they start developing who they are.
Yeah.
What happens to that child then? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What happens then? They become a burden. You know what I'm saying?
People start neglecting them and
Yeah.
treating them all crazy and stuff. Yeah.
And so we have to start thinking about all the children that's been left behind since January. Since January, we have how many children that's been left behind without parents? We have 100-something murders. Each one of them was probably, most of them majority of them were parents, right?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So now their children is left with.
I don't know. This last couple of months, I can honestly say, really nobody that's been killed is over the age of 25.
But they still produce children.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Some of them did. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They still produce children.
Well, majority of them did. Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm saying. And so we have a community that's really hurting. And if we don't think and make a way for those babies that are being left out, and we know they're going to be a burden, because if your own child is a burden, think about somebody that's not your child that's been left in your care.
You want to know something so crazy? Our community, we are so accustomed to this thing now, where our kids are. It doesn't affect them.
It affects them.
When the parent dies and or daddy's dead, that they want a T-shirt. They want to, they've been taught, rep daddy. Daddy gone. This is what happens. On to the next. Wow. And it's crazy. It's crazy.
Wow.
I mean, we may think that
you've seen it.
I'm seeing it every single day, and it's getting worse. It's not getting better. It's getting worse. Because I'm seeing it every single day. Man, I had a young brother. He was 27 years old. I think he had 6 kids. All the different baby mamas and stuff. They down there. The kids. Daddy gone. Look at daddy. Daddy look good, don't he? Don't tell her daddy dead. You know what I mean? Daddy don't make this is a beautiful thing. I mean, cause you're glorifying it, and that's what she was doing. You know what I mean? Not just her, all the baby mamas. They were glorifying this. Don't do that to the children. Let them know like this is something that is not good. This is terrible. You know what I mean? This is terrible. Daddy was murdered. You know what I mean? Daddy didn't die of natural cause. Daddy wasn't just sick, and had a blood clot. Daddy was murdered, assassinated. You know what I mean? By somebody. This is not something that's the norm, but it's becoming a new norm for our generation. This is the new norm. This is the thing. Person dies. Man, they don't talk about talking to the prosecutor, or let's figure out who did this. No. The first thing they worried about. We need to get a head count on how many T-shirts we need.
Yeah, let's make.
You can't even pay for the funeral. What you worried about T-shirts?
Let's make somebody else rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You worried about T-shirts?
I that's sad. I mean,
instead of getting counseling, instead of using that money to put towards a counselor to help your kids in the long run, because it's gonna mess with them mentally as they growing up, and then you wonder why they having behavior problems in school and all of this stuff. They're missing that other part. But you didn't look at that at the time. You was worried about T-shirts.
But you know what, Frank? This is what I don't understand. Being a mother has been my greatest challenge in life, but has been my greatest gift. It made me grow up. I mean, I was very selfish. I know it's hard to believe, but I was very selfish in my own thinking and being. It was me. Yeah. When I had a child, I had to learn how to share. It didn't happen overnight. It was a process. There is nothing on the other side of hell that I would not move for my own child. If that means if I have to study to become a better person, I would do that. And for my grandchildren, the same thing. I make no exceptions in what I do. I do everything with my family in mind. How will they benefit from this? When we started Voices of the People, it was because Brandon was getting in trouble with the law.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember.
And so when I went down there, I became Voices of the People. It was only me and Woody Woodruff.
I remember.
You remember that? And people said, "Man, is that a big organization?"
I remember.
You remember that?
Yep.
So when I started GYRL, it was to help other people. But when I started Girl Princess, when I started the Princess Group, it was to help my granddaughter. My granddaughter that was extremely shy, but had a lot of talents. It was help her to gain that confidence. And if you see my granddaughter now, I was looking at her today. We was on 38th and Bells. My granddaughter was mowing, right? Mm-hmm. The girls in the truck was 11 years old. You know what they were doing? What? Across the street?
Dancing.
They was twerking in the truck. I looked at my granddaughter. I said, thank God she has somebody guiding her. The other girls did not have nobody, and they was twerking while my granddaughter was working. Yeah. And I went over there and I talked to them. You know what I'm saying? I went over. Yeah. I went over there and I asked the young girl. She was turning flips and everything. Man, I said, "Hey, who taught you that?" She said, "My mama." I said, "Your mama?" I said, "Your mom used to be a cheerleader." She said something like that. So her mother showed. I left that alone. So something like that. So her mother showed how to do this. Well, anyway, I invited her over Saturday.
Yeah.
The little boy said, I will come. The little girl, like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But if we don't introduce our children to something that is productive, we're going to lose them.
Yeah.
Most of the young girls that are running away, 13 and 14 years old, they're not running away because they're happy. They're running away because they're unhappy in a situation at home. And if you don't fix it, it's not going to get any better.
Yeah, because as I remember this morning, I sent out a bolo over Facebook. The other teens come missing.
Those kids ain't coming up missing. They don't even have a description of what their child looks like. That is sad.
This one has a picture and everything.
But they don't have a description of 99.9 of these people don't have a description of what their child looks like. Or, you know, or whether last child. If you leave the house at 4 a.m., there is an issue. If you leaving that house at 4 a.m. and somebody's picking you up, there is an issue.
Check this out. I got this text from that family. She said, hey Frank, so prosecuting attorney Jennifer Tatum didn't feel like there was enough evidence to hold or charge the third suspect. Then she made a deal with the second suspect to allow him to leave the state. The first suspect even received a lower bond, so everybody gets justice except us.
See, those
sad faces.
But see, that's the stuff that we need to talk about. That's the stuff that Black Lives Matter should be marching up and down these streets for. They should be marching up and down the street for that injustice. You know what I'm saying? Because when you let somebody out on bond like that,
let them leave the state.
Well, your life is at risk. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't need no witnesses regardless of what's going to happen. So when we talk about marching, you know, Black Lives Matter, give them something to march for, because what they're marching for, it ain't even police brutality, you know, is real. It's real.
Oh yeah, me and Brandon, we used to get harassed
all the time, you know. But march with a purpose. I mean, this mother needs help, and our community, with all the scholars, all the attorneys, we should have people on call.
Yeah. I commend Stacey Sharp for what she's trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, people think she's crazy, but she's out there.
She's out there.
She's out
on the front line.
And I want to say this again. This is GYRL, GYRL. We will expect to have as many people that want to participate in our organization. We're part of the new arts program, Get Your Child Involved. I mean, there's no excuses. There's no excuses why your child should not be involved in a program that's not only going to teach them how to become successful or attempt to become successful, but brings up their self-esteem and with real people that care. So get at me at girlyouth@gmail.com. That's GYRL. Gmail, I think that is. But anyway, or you can come and see me at 38 in Chestnut. You can't miss us. We're in the middle of the block at the Rose Garden, and we do need volunteers. So thank you for listening.